I notice a very public letter written from an alderman to the mayor of Chicago, which they happen to talk about on blockclubchicago.org. And I thought, well, we should probably talk to the alderman. Sometimes you have more luck with the mayor if you talk to him quietly without publishing the letter asking for more cops. The 43rd Ward saw a 17% increase in robberies last year, 32 robberies in July alone. And the alderman wrote a letter to Mayor Brandon Johnson asking for more cops to be assigned to the Near North Police District. As I mentioned, a 17% increase in robberies last year. And since 2021, the police district has also seen a 21% decrease in officers. That's about 74 neighborhood cops who have vaporized. Let's start there with our next guest who joins us here on the Big 89. He is first-term alderman Timothy Knudsen, joining us here on WDLS. Well, the police officers, have they been reassigned or do they retire? What is this attrition? What's the answer?
Yeah, John, I think it's probably a mix. It's probably a mix of reassignments and retirements based on just the large decrease. So, in our letter that we published and sent to the mayor, we're really asking for that number to come back up so that the commander in our district, specifically the 18th district, has the staff that he needs so that we can get back to community policing, so that my community members can see a healthy patrol in the 43rd Ward.
The Near North District Commander is Michael Bartz. Are you happy with him?
I'm so happy with Commander Bartz. He's been in that role for, I think, exactly a month and a half. And immediately we got to work together. He's been taking walks with me around the commercial corridors within the ward. I know he takes them without me, too, because we get a lot of messages that people see him out and about. And it just shows a dedication to knowing the communities, which is really the facet of community policing. I'll say he's also brought some pretty consistent, steady patrol onto streets like Armitage, where we've had an increase in robberies.
Alderman, you called on the mayor in your letter to choose for the next superintendent somebody with an enlightened and creative community policing strategy. Can you define that for us?
Yeah, I think what we need to look at going forward is how can we make safety work in this city? This goes into everything. This goes into who the next superintendent is. This goes into what type of budget that we pass now in a couple of months. And I think there's a lot of room for creativity there. Last year's budget for CPD included a lot of innovative technological investment that the city is behind on. We're talking helicopters, increased cameras that we can then install in our ward that do show to deter crime. And we just need to innovate across the board.
How can we combat flash mob violence?
Yeah, that's a big question. I know in our ward, North Avenue Beach has been the site of significant what we call teen trends. And we have had a really healthy patrol on North Avenue Beach this summer, and I do believe that the incidents at that beach have gone down. And I think generally when we think of safety and flash mobs, we have to really look at the piece of investing in community programs and ways to fill the gap so that people who are participating in flash mobs have something better to do.
Mayor Johnson says it's important for all of us to use his words, careful language when describing the behavior of teens. Do you concur? And if so, what does that mean?
I think I do generally concur. We have to be careful when we're talking about teens. There's been a lot of increase in certain types of crimes done by teenagers, and a lot of this does fall on the back of just after a pandemic where a lot of them were out of school. A lot of them didn't have a place to go, and it's hard to get a kid back in school when they've been out of it. So I do agree. We've got to be careful when we talk about this age group.
Alderman Timmy Knudsen is here. He represents the 43rd Ward. What do you think we should do with the asylum seekers that are arriving almost every day in Chicago? Should they be spread out through all 50 wards? Your thoughts?
Yeah, I think it's a really hard situation. We have right now around 80 asylum seekers at our 18th district police department, and that is after months of really, really hard work from our office, our police district councils, and different community advocates on trying to get people into good quality housing. every ward does need to step up. I'm really happy to be in a ward where our church leaders have stepped up significantly. We're a pretty dense ward. We don't have too many open spaces. So when this became an issue, we got calls from several of churches right around our ward office actually saying, hey, we want to house, we want to help. I've got a bit of a background in pro bono legal work for asylum applicants, and that's a piece of this as well. We need to get them in a legal framework so that then they can go to work. This is a population that wants to come here and wants to work, and I think it's up to us to make sure that they have shelter and opportunity to succeed.
Now, you're in your first term. Obviously, so is the mayor. Are you willing to give him an early grade thus far as his performance?
No, I'm in my ward office, and I'm looking to collaborate. We're all better when we all succeed, and even the very public letter that we wrote to Mayor Johnson, everyone who read it, it's got a major tone of collaboration. This city will do better when we're all working together.
Have you heard back from the mayor?
Not yet. We're going to keep, increasing calls. Obviously, a busy person, and many wards do have these issues right now, but this public letter is only a piece of the work we're doing to increase patrol in the ward. Like I said, we're having open forums with the new Commander Barr, so that my community can get to know him on a personal level. And we're doing the same with our 19th District Commander, Amin Jassani. That's community policing, and part of community policing is up to the alders and local leaders. It's not all up to the executive branch.
Well, we'll watch the progress. Thank you, Alderman. Much appreciated. Have a great afternoon.